role of John Shepard on your own personality, did it bring something new to you, or were you already the perfect Colonel Shepard at the beginning of the show?
No, it's a different character, but there's obviously a lot of crossover. I, for one, I'm a bit of a soloist in life, and I think Shepard starts in the show as a soloist, and then I think he becomes a team player toward the end. And ironically, it's a similar arc in my personal life with the show. It's true. I think I started looking out for myself on the show. And then I became good friends with everybody. And really, I feel close to them, and I feel like we were just one unit. And I think that's true in life in general. I think my whole life has gone from being very singular to being very plural. So, yeah.
We were expecting a movie to close Stargate Atlantis, but unfortunately the project was cancelled. Do you know what should have happened in that movie, or if you don't, what do you think could have happened?
Well, first of all, I'll be honest with you, there was never a plan for a movie.
Okay, that was a rumor.
It was a rumor that the producers were perfectly happy to let out there. And I was always deeply uncomfortable with that because there were never any commitments for it. And I know because nobody ever contacted me.
All right.
I did, however, say, well, it's possible, but they would be doing it without me because nobody's talked to me. And it became clear that they had canceled Stargate SG-1, they had canceled Atlantis, and they were launching a new show called Universe. It was important to let the fans feel like there was something else left from the other shows. And in some ways, I think it was really, I think it was not smart, and it was disingenuous. And everybody asked me, I always said the movie is a no. The movie's a no. And but that doesn't mean that I don't think it will happen in the future. I think that it actually will sometime. It could just be a very long time. Could be in a year or two, I don't know. But I think the franchise has that dormant quality that it could sprout up at any time, not unlike Star Trek. So.
Do you like seeing yourself on screen?
I hate it. Hate it. I don't watch it. I don't watch anything I do. I watch the dailies and I try to learn from the dailies simple craft issues like, am I moving too much? Am I speaking clearly? Am I at the right angle for the camera, or am I turned too much? Little craft issues I look at. Could I have done it better? Am I breaking apart the scene well enough? How many layers did I put into it? So I'm very critical, but not in a I think in a constructive way. I do it in a constructive way, and I actually don't have any ego when I watch this stuff. But when it goes to film and they cut it up and edit it and they send it out there, I don't like to watch it. I'm so far past it emotionally that when I sit down to watch it, I find it to be uncomfortable. I find it always to be uncomfortable, and people always like, hey, let's watch. Your show's on, let's watch. I'm like, no, I do not want to watch the show. I really don't. So.
Would you like your children to become actors? And if yes, would you invite them for the role proposition they will receive?
I really don't want them to be actors. It's a very difficult life. Statistically, it is a miserable life. And to give you an example, I think there are 120,000 members of the Screen Actors Guild. I believe that less than 10,000 make over $5,000 a year. And if you took out the top 20 movie stars, it's probably more like only 2,000 people make over $10,000 a year. So really nobody works as actors, really, statistically speaking. So it is a very brutal life. It's very difficult. You got to deal with a lot of rejection. And my only thing is, if they really, really wanted to do it, I'd just say, hey, go make a lot of money and bring it to me. Bring your daddy the money.
What was the most awkward moment that you've experienced on set?
Besides now? No, I'm just joking. The most, yes. There was we did something that was so, it was so out of the blue. David and I, and David will tell you this because he remembers it distinctly. It was just me and David. We were doing a scene, and it was on film, the tape was running, and he said something, and I looked at him and I go, I'm so ashamed. And that wasn't the line at all. I don't know where it came from. It was a conversation that David and I had had from earlier about joking about doing science fiction and doing some other thing and being very self-effacing. And somehow it just popped up. And I was like, that's really too bad because that's on film. And it was funny. David seized on it, of course. Made it doubly uncomfortable for me. But really, no. There's never really been any awkward scenes. Not really.
Okay. Do you have any future project? What role would you like to portray?
Do I have any future project, and what are some shows I'd like to do?
Yeah.
Are they separate questions?
Yeah.
Yes. Tomorrow I leave to go shoot a thing called Heavy Metal, or Metal Hurlant, and it's based on the heavy metal comic books and the movie and everything else. I just finished doing a movie, an action film with Jean-Claude Van Damme in Romania. I also just finished shooting this Fringe episode. And there's always things percolating. There's always things possibly happening. But I don't like to talk about anything unless it's a done deal. So there'll probably be something else before Christmas, but there's no way to tell at this point. So unfortunately, in this business, things change fast. And you could think you're doing something, and then like a week before find out that the whole project has fallen through. So that's the way it goes.
To finish, do you like France?
J'adore France. Oui, c'est vrai, hein. J'aime bien le français. J'aime bien le français aussi, hein. Ouais, c'est vrai, hein, parce que j'ai étudié à la Sorbonne. Ouais, je connais bien Paris. Hein.
Nice.
Ouais, j'adore France, oui.
Have you ever been here before?
Marseille.
Today? Yeah, Marseille.
I came here once when I was like 15 years old, and I remember walking the streets, and that was just not, that's about it. But I've been all over France, but Marseille is one of the places I really don't know that well, but it's a great city. I mean, I really like it. I personally, as an American, I like cities that have a authentic quality to them, and this is, you know, it's a port city, and it's also an industrial town. But that's fine. I wouldn't like a town that was trying to hide that, you know. So, I like towns like Detroit and Chicago because they're real. They're real cities. They're not cities trying to pretend that there's something else. Vancouver, for example, is a port city, but they're trying to pretend that they're Paris or Hong Kong or New York City, and they're not. So it's just not the same thing. So I really like it.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Merci de votre
Merci
participation.
bien.